most difficult aspects of any campaign isn't an external issue, it's achieving buy-in within your own team. I'm MarketingSherpa reporter Courtney Eckerly here at the MarketingSherpa Media Center at IRCE, and with me today to talk about that I have Johnny Russo, who's the Director of Ecommerce and Digital Marketing for Bentley Leathers. Welcome.
Thank you.
So you guys just launched an e-commerce site at the end of May. Tell me a little bit about the process for that.
Yeah, so I joined Bentley in December, and so they had selected the platform, which was going to be Magento, and they had selected their agency already, but the rest was kind of a clean slate. And so the first thing that we did when we got there was actually shut down the previous site. It just wasn't working, and we wanted our whole effort to be on the new site. And there was no one else. So they had got rid of the team that was in place and really wanted to start new. There's a new culture in there. They were launching a new ERP system, and the digital and e-com team had to be built. So we outlined which positions we would need. And especially in Canada right now, the market, it's just not as advanced as it is in the US. So we built our team considerably fast according to the market. We actually had one of our team members from France. So she had been in Canada for about 5 weeks or so. And we were lucky to snatch her up. And once we got that team on board, it's a flexible team. It's not the type of team where they each have one job description and they stick to it. So once we had that team on board, we were kind of full steam ahead on the project. One of the things that was a challenge was our ERP system was launching in March, and the go live, when I got there, was supposed to be around April. But as you know, with an ERP system launching, kind of takes precedence sometimes over the e-com launch. So we faced some challenges in there. But that's when we realized how important executive buy-in was, starting from the top. So starting from our president, starting from our CFO, our CIO, our chief marketing officer, obviously. And working with the allocation and the buying groups, the planning groups, and the DC. I think a lot of people in e-commerce sometimes forget about the DC end of it, the distribution center end of it. That whole logistics part of it is sometimes makes or breaks your actual business. So the site can be beautiful, but if you're not following through once the orders get through the checkout, you're not really doing a great job. Yeah.
So what was your process for it? It was a lot of resources that you had to allocate to it, and that can be difficult when you're trying to get buy-in.
Yeah. So we have a pretty agile and small team. So one of the things we did was, we built the plan in terms of the sales plan from the bottom up. So we didn't take a number and then try to build funnels and marketing channels around it. We looked at the bottom and built each channel and said, okay, we're going to get this X amount of traffic and X amount of sales from this particular channel, and built that up. And then we said, okay, who are the vendors that we want to work with? Who are the technology providers we want to work with? What do we want to insource? What do we want to outsource? And we went about it that way on the digital side. We had various testing scenarios that we put in place end to end, and we have 300 plus stores in Canada. So it's not about launching a website and that's it. So we had to launch the website, but it had to be connected to our ERP system, it had to be connected to our warehouse, and at some point there's got to be a merge with the POS. So that's where omnichannel comes in, which is phase 2, probably likely around January, and really. We did this, once we built the team, probably was around February, and from February we launched 5 days ago, so right at the end of May. So the process was a rather quick one, and definitely sometimes you skip some steps, and we the timing is never right? We launched, and then a couple of us are here, so we're still testing and figuring things out. So some advice I would give is probably. Once you do launch, it's not going to be perfect. There are going to be some things that you have to sacrifice and maybe not get, but just leave that air, do a bit of a soft launch. Don't send too much traffic to that site, because you will need that 2 to 4 weeks afterwards to kind of figure things out. And speaking of process, Bentley was a company that didn't really have processes until probably a year ago when new management was coming in, so they hired a new president. new CMO came in, got serious about data, which is why they launched the ERP, supply chain and all that. So the processes are coming. We're still building customer service processes as we speak. So we're doing them, sometimes you can't think of all the processes you may need until a problem comes up. And we're really agile. Like Bentley's been around for 30 years, and the amount of change that's been going on in the last year, I think, is more than they had in the previous 29 years. So process is very important, and we're getting better and better at outlining what those processes are.
What do you attribute that agility to? Is it an internal culture, or? It's
a culture shift for sure. I think with any company, when you have people that have been there a long time, they're used to doing things a certain way. Once you bring in new people with new ideas, especially in 2015, where technology enables you to move quickly, you have no choice. So decisions have to be made quickly, and sometimes they're the wrong decisions for sure. But making 10 decisions and having 8 of them be right is much better than making one small decision and having it be right. So I think it definitely is a culture change. It's a people change, and really technology today enables you to kind of it's overused now, but fail fast, right? So I think that, and the digital team that we have, all they think about is small improvements. And thankfully we work with an agency that believes in the agile methodology, and they're the same way. And they love us as a client because we kind of share the same values, and let's just do it. What can happen? Okay, the page goes down, we'll fix it. So we work like that, and both parties work well together.
Well, great, thank you so much for taking the time, Johnny.
Absolutely, thank you very much.
And if you would like more marketing tips, tactics, and case studies, please visit MarketingSherpa.com.